Let's face it, guys. Let's face the Rhino course. We need to crack on. But we came a long way already. So we went through basics, like the basic workspace arrangement, the line tools, points, and we also went through the curve tools, how to manipulate curves and so on. Actually, from now, from this point on, we will focus on surfaces and solids. But it will be, you will see it's gonna be very familiar. We will use all the things we learned before, but with the creation of surfaces in mind. Let's get going. I've started some project here. It's lots of construction lines, but maybe I thought I can use this actually to explain you some of the concepts here. This is gonna be a one family villa somewhere. I don't know. I really need just some small model for other tutorials, so I thought, why not just building my own little house with a pool. You know, who doesn't like a pool? That's gonna be my pool here. That's the first thing I drew. The pool. We actually went through all these here, these polyline, the control point curves, circle, ellipse, and then arcs, rectangles, polygons, and then filleting curves and so on. And then we also went through all these here, the curve tools, so how to manipulate curves and so on. I will start from here, the primitives, like very simple solid objects. So I will start from here. I can actually pull this out again. And why do I start here? Because, well, we will mix it up, I think. We will mix this. But there's one command which you will use all the time: extruding surfaces. Extruding is, I mean, there is no project where you don't extrude stuff. And actually, it's funny that it's hidden somewhere in a sub menu. That's interesting because you will need it all the time. So extruding surfaces, and extruding doesn't just work with surfaces, it actually works with lines as well. And I just show you how that goes. These are the solid tools, and we will mix all these stuff together. Maybe these two, actually, we will look at these two first: surfaces and solids. And then we will see how we can manipulate. So here you have just very simple tools like box, how to create a box. But let's start here with the extruding surface, because it's such an essential tool that you shouldn't miss, or you can't miss. So for example, I have these walls here. Well, let's one thing I want to do here, just adding some windows. Let me do that very quickly. No, actually some doors. I just need some doors. So I have here an entrance. Here's a door. Here's a door, and here's gonna be a door. This is gonna be open. So this is gonna be gone. And I actually just want to extrude these walls here. And the way we can do that is to actually use our curve tools, the curve boolean tool, and we select all these. We can select everything, it doesn't matter. And then curve boolean tool, and then we can actually basically select what we want to, where we want to have the walls. So here, and then we have a wall here, and I will go in another layer, so we have can call this, I cannot, okay. I go in another layer, as I will say enter, pressing enter, and then we will just assume these walls are, let's say 3 meters high, 3 meters. And now you would use this tool here. So actually it's here, but it's not very obvious. So this is the extrude command, and it's not very obvious because it's actually, it has a weird shape. But so with that we can actually extrude these walls. So I go back here, and because I lost my selection, I was confused. I can actually say here select last, and that selects my previous lines again. And then I can just either type this, either say this, but because you need that so often, I actually just do this. I type EX and I'm already in the command. And then what's important is that you check what's written here, because sometimes the solid is on no, and in this case we want to have solids. So we want to have we want to cap it on the top. We don't want to have just extruding the lines, because that would look like this. So if I go here on S, then my extrusion would be open. You can see that here. That's not what we want. So just continue this again. And now I will say solid, no, yes. And then I just type in the height, which is 3 meters. Okay, and then I can just either tap enter or click with the mouse. Then I have my walls. I'll delete this and delete this so we can start from scratch here. Now let's say I want to have, this is like a patio or like a paved area where we have the pool. I want to just make this, let's forget about the pool first. We can create a surface here in various ways. And let's have not the pool for now. We can create the pool later. So I will go out of here because I wanted to show you the extrusion command. And now we go into the surfaces. And then later on we go back. Maybe we can have these both open so we can talk about it a bit better. Oh yeah, by the way, I can name this, I can give this a different color because I don't like it. And then now, so we have our walls here. That's great. Let's go for this area first. So how could we create that surface? We can create it by this tool. Surface from 3 to 4 points. So if we click here, and we can also say surface point, then it's the same. S, R, F, P, T, and then we're already in the command. And then it's depending on our snapping, we need to have our snapping on, and then I put my snap point here on endpoint, snap endpoint. And with that, I can then just select these the line drawing, the endpoints of the line drawing. And here's a point you need to be careful. So we want to be here in the corner and then here in the corner. And surface, yes, that's very good. We want to give this a thickness. Let's give this a thickness. So how can we do that? We can actually use the extrude surface again. But the extrude command, but this time it's not a curve, it's a surface. So we could use that command again. And because we want to go down, just pull it down, and then we see. And let's make this 0.2 meter. Now when I did that, it actually created two objects. One is the surface and one is a poly surface. So either you just delete that, or what you can also do when you actually use this extrude command, extrude surface, then you can choose if you want to keep the input or not. So you can see direction, both sides, yes, no, solid, both sides. As you can remember, we had the same with the lines. Solid, yes, delete input, no. But actually we want to delete the input, so we delete yes, and then when we type minus 0.2, okay, I can just accept, and now we are actually above that line, which I didn't want, so we can actually push this down. So that's a way to create that surface. There are other ways, of course. Another way would be to use the box, and the box, if you use the box just as it is here, then you can, it asks you to ask you for the corner base, and you have all the options here. So the options you actually find in that submenu, they are the same as here. So create a box from diagonal point, create a box from 3 points, or from center, corner, and length, or from a bounding box. A bounding box is also interesting. We get to that. But yeah, let's go corner point, and here we already have a problem because it's always going parallel to the world coordinate system. So again, so if I use that and I go here, it will not recognize this as an angle. So, but then it will ask for the second point, and then it will ask for the height. That means we need to have a different method. So therefore we can have the 3-point box. And normally what I do is I type box, and then I type P, and that will automatically puts me into that submenu, the 3-point box. And the 3-point box, you can choose the first box, first point, second point, and then choose the height. and then you can again 0.2 now again. Yeah, no, that was correct. So that's another way. There are other options here. So for example, I could I could use the rectangular function and then extrude that. That would be like this. So I take this here, and this is the same problem as with the box. It's not rotated to my coordinate system. I could change the coordinate system. So I could actually go here into the coordinate system and set the C-plane by 3 points. So I could do that. It's a bit of a workaround, but that's also possible. So I could do this, put that here, and basically now I changed my coordinate system so it fits my plan or the outline of the pool patio, and then I could use this. And that now, of course, it works also. So the box would be now also according to that. So you see, it's always the same game here. The rectangular 3D, the rectangle with 3 points, that's the same as with the box. And then I would need to extrude it if I want to extrude it. There's another option here. It's called surface from planar curves. That's basically, that works if the curve is completely flat in my construction plane, or if, let's say, if all the points of that curve are in the same plane, they need to be in the same plane. So for example, if this here is a bit higher than the others, then this thing doesn't work. Surface from planar curves doesn't work. No faces were made. Curves must be close to planar. What could I do here? I could actually make this planar if I want. I could say project to C-plane. We did that before, I think. And then delete input yes or no, and I would say yes. And then you can use this surface from planar curves. That works also. Sometimes this is very great, but sometimes it's not, and I can show you why. So for example, if I have something like this, and I join these. So this is my curve, and then I use this. The problem now is, yes, it created the surface, but my isocurves are not on these corners. The isocurves are these curves here. Because now if I look into, if I now go here and look at my object's control points, and you can see they are outside of that shape. And they basically, this tool basically built a rectangle and then cut out that curve. For now, it doesn't matter. It's completely valid, but it's not sometimes it's not the best way to make surfaces. Another way, of course, yeah, we talked about this 3-point rectangles, and then let's build that. So I have a wall here. I want to have a wall in my landscape garden. It's not like a retaining wall, but it's like a dividing wall inside the landscape. So I could use the vertical plane tool, for example. Again, there are different options. Vertical plane tool would be then start of edge, the first edge, and then the end point, and then it basically automatically goes up in the set direction. Then I have this surface which I can also extrude. Surfaces are always extruded normal to the surface. So if I use extrude surface, then, and again here delete input, yes, so we want to delete the input, and then I can snap just to this other line here. Okay, that's one way. Of course, there's the box again, which I could have used. It's much more convenient because it's already doing what I want. So instead of like having one step, instead of having 2 steps, I just have one. Oh, we didn't use the diagonal box. I use it very seldom, I have to admit. How could we use that here? I'll just show you how it works, but we might not use it in this case. Okay, diagonal box would be, for example, I want to build a box from here to here. Like I want to build a box like this. Then if I know the start point, the lower start point, and then the end point on the higher level, on the vertical level, then this, of course, it's the most easiest or the fastest way to make the box, because you just draw 2 points, and of course it doesn't work like that. because it's again according to of course the coordinate system. So that would mean changing the coordinate and then do the same again. So your construction plane need to be accordingly. Yes, bounding box that's useful if you have a very organic shape and you want to align it, or you want to find the bounding box around it, then this is very useful. So for example, if I want to have a bounding box over all these, then I could do that with this tool. And then you need to choose the coordinate system. Actually here it's nice because it chooses the coordinate system. Do I have this option here? No. Coordinate system world? No. Cumulative? I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Cumulative. Okay. What does it mean? Cumulative. Like the smallest possible way? The smallest possible volume, I guess. Output solid. If I now press, then I just get one big box, and this is based on, it's based on the world coordinate system. Now if I don't want that, then I could choose the construction plane. Then it's the construction plane. Okay, that means if I set the construction plane here, it kept actually that's really good because I was able to create the construction plane within the command, and then it finalized the command. That's something not a lot of software have that. Yeah, I forgot something. So I actually wanted to show you one more. Let's also put some floors into that building. Create a new layer here. Let's change that name. Okay, let's create 2 layers. Paving. Okay, floor, and then paving, exterior, and then now we could draw a line here, or we use the boolean command, the curve boolean command. That's also possible, but I'm just here. I'll just do it very quickly. Actually, this was not a good idea, but that also gives me another opportunity to show you something else. I can actually remove these points if I don't want them. So I have I don't need this one. And actually I wanted to have, so actually now I made a mistake because I wanted to have this on the outer side. We can, but that's actually easy because we just need to do our offset function. Offset through point, we learned it before, and then we have our line here. And now I can either use the extrude function with the closed planar curves, or the surface from planar curves, and then extrude that. Let's go for the extruding, the normal extrude planar curve function. And we are in the paving. Let's in the interior paving. Hopla. Extrude curve solid. We want solid, yes, and we make this the same thickness here. Yeah, let's finish that quickly here as well. So we have, that's when you don't think when you set everything up, but actually we could do this. Now we have some overlapping geometry, which we don't want, but we could use then the boolean function, calculate that together into one, and then with this we have a line. Some of this stuff I will explain again later, but if you don't want to have this line here, you can just say merge all coplanar faces, and it's just one surface. That's a very useful tool. And of course we can then let's create the paving. So there's a walkway here and there's a walkway here. It should be very easy, simple, just with the box. that we're gonna put here. With when I have an object here and I want to place it in another layer, then you can just select that object and go on the layer you want to place it to and right click and then change layer, object layer, and then it's on that layer. And we can do the same here. Let's go into that layer. And yeah, that's it. Now we could bring that up into the second floor with copy. Just copy that. And so now I'm thinking actually this is gonna be a terrace and this is gonna be the second floor. So I could go into ghosted view. So I see a bit more, I see a bit what's underneath, and I could take this line, these lines here and these ones, and also bring them up, copy them, and then extrude and make this the walls, and it's also 3 meter. Yes, okay, and then now, yeah, we missed the door here, but it's fine. We can make this later. We can do this later, and then we could close that off with some simple. Looks already like a house. Now select all curves. Select all curves and then hide them. And that's where we left off with. Already looks like a building. Could use a different. That's not so bad. See you next time.